whether this is some sort of rookie hazing or something else.
I'm hoping that it's because of that reason, by me being a rookie. But I just, try not to let it frustrate me. Just keep playing basketball. And I think as long as I put all that aside, then I can have a successful year.
I think it's just, rookie things. Everybody's looking at anything. He wears his shorts too long, they call about that. He didn't cut his hair, they call about that. So I told him, hey, just keep your head up and continue to do what you're doing.
I'm a grown man. I know how to handle situations like this. I've been dealing with them for a while now. So, like I said, I just take it on the chin and just keep playing basketball. That's all I can do.
Iverson's taken 79 shots and passed off for 22 assists. In contrast, Charlie Ward has taken 40 shots and passed off for 42 assists. As for Iverson, he thinks the ball distribution is fine.
I feel my teammates are getting their shots. If you look at the stat sheets and stuff, you can see that everybody's getting their shots. But, I don't know, that's just other negative publicity that I have to deal with. I know that's going to come with the territory. All I can do is keep playing basketball.
In order for us to take a step, he's going to have to, become more of a distributor for our team with the type of players that we have. But at the same time, coming in last year, I understand the urgency of trying to establish yourself, and I know that's what he's trying to do.
I know coming into the game, Jerry's going to be the first person we start going to, Jerry in D.C., and I just get my points and assists however I can, just playing hard. But they're our go-to guys, and I think they'll take us where we need to be this year.
Allen Iverson, averaging 21 points a game, is in the backcourt with last year's first-round pick Jerry Stackhouse. Up front, he's joined by Derek Coleman, rugged Michael Cage, and Clarence Weatherspoon. As for Iverson, don't worry. Derek Coleman will teach him everything he needs to know in how to be a professional in the NBA. Anyway, when we come back, we will recap the West Coast trip that went very, very well from a Knick perspective as we continue on the NCS Cannon Knick Game Night.
You're watching NCS Cannon Knicks Game Night on MSG Network.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Were you frustrated about your hair loss?
Who wouldn't be?
So what happened when you called?
They really are hair transplant specialists, and they offered me the right solution. They really cared about my concerns.
Hair transplantation is totally natural because it's your own hair, and it will continue to grow for the rest of your life. Call now and put your concerns of hair loss behind you forever.
Basketball at Modell's Sporting Goods.
There is a place where legends come to life every day, where the magic of the sun never sets, the Mohegan Sun Casino, where the sweet taste of victory is always at hand. Here, sevens can equal thousands, and thousands applaud the stars. There is a place where you can find your season in the sun. Discover the Mohegan Sun Casino, now open, 1 mile off Interstate 395 in Uncasville, Connecticut.
It's vital to make your investment dollars work to their utmost potential. Psst, come here. Come here. By now, you must have heard of Kurland Securities' attractive bond offerings. What? You're an investor looking to maximize your investment return and don't know about Kurland? Then you should call Kurland now.
Ask about Kurland's new U.S. Brady bond program yielding 10.5% to maturity. At maturity, your principal is 100% backed by U.S. Treasury securities.
MCS Service and Canon Technology. Let us show you the possibilities.
Did you ever wonder why really good things happen in threes? Star Wars, the trilogy, The Godfather 1, 2, 3, Mo, Larry, and Curly, and the Knicks Western road trip. 3 games, all very memorable for this team, which took them all, as you'll see in the Discover card. Playback, payback. San Jose, the Knicks met the Warriors, and John Starks got up close with Latrell Sprewell. First, Starks got a tee. Then emotions rose. Sprewell hit a shot and headed straight for Starks and got a tee himself. Then the good cheer was spread to others. When Felton Spencer's screen catapulted Starks. Larry Johnson and Donyell Marshall got technicals. Now, John Starks has been on the wrong side of trash talking before, but on this night, it woke him up and got the team into it. Third quarter, Knicks up 1.
Starks for 3. Yes! Ward. Starks. Nice move on Sprewell, and hits! Ward passed on the 3. Starks from downtown. Yes! John Starks continues to hit clutch shots.
Close late, Knicks up 2. Patrick Ewing very involved with 33 points. First makes it Knicks by 4, and then with an on-target jump shot sealed the proceedings. The final, New York 105, Golden State 100. Starks with 15 of 17 in the second half.
I just wanted to come in and kind of inject this team with a lot of energy, and it worked. And we came out and played much better, like we're capable of playing.
He's got to be emotional, and he gave us a big lift, and he gave them a big lift, and he, gave everyone a lift.
In Los Angeles, Billy Crystal was one of those watching a very sloppy Clippers game, which is an oxymoron. Anyway, even Marvin John patiently waited for something exciting.
As Scott Brooks lands on our lap. Nice ball.
With one of our heroes safely rescued, we get back to the game in which the Knicks committed an outrageous 32 turnovers. You know how the coach feels about that. In the third quarter, Charlie Ward bruised his left butt muscle on a flagrant foul by Kevin Duckworth. He was left to try and stretch it out. While with 4:42 left, Larry Johnson helped stretch a Knick lead to 75-68. He then struck again with 4:25 remaining to make it 77-68. Those were the final points New York would score in regulation. The Clippers made use of the opportunity. Stanley Roberts, actually playing, made it a 1-point Knick lead with 90 seconds to go. Charles Oakley missed, and Charles Outlaw tried to steal a hoop, but a foul by Allen Houston made him work for it, and he got only 1 of 2, tying the game at 77, with Allen Houston hurt on the play. With 7.8 seconds to go, Scott Brooks commits another of those dreaded turnovers, giving the Clippers a chance to win. Remember, they're the Clippers.
Richardson. Down to 3. Down to 2. Here's Richardson. And we go to overtime. That won't count. Will not count.
And in overtime, Kiki Vandeweghe could hardly control himself, and the Clippers couldn't deal with Patrick Ewing, who had 20 points and 19 rebounds. Ugly, but a win. 88-81, New York. In Vancouver, Patrick Ewing was special again, with 21 points and 16 rebounds, while Charlie Ward played hurt and played well with 13 points. And while there were alley-oops from Oakley to Wallace and spinoramas from Allen Houston, the Knicks led by only 2 at halftime. A situation which was blown open in the third quarter and sealed in the fourth. It wound up being a 19-point win over the struggling Grizzlies and a perfect 3-0 West Coast trip, which Patrick Ewing said was inspired at the Garden.
We didn't have a particularly good game against the Lakers at home, and we came out and wanted to redeem ourselves, get back to the way that we know we're capable of playing, and I thought that we accomplished that on this road trip.
Patrick, we've been noting in your play in the preseason and now in the early part of the season that you look like you're about 5 or 6 years younger, and we thought it might have something to do with your shorter haircut. Any truth to that?
No, that doesn't have anything to do with it. I feel great. I had an outstanding summer. I didn't have any surgery, and my body feels good. I just worked a lot, myself and Greg Brittenham, and then I came back about a month early and worked out with Jeff, just try to get refine my game, get it back to where it needs to be.
Well, that was then. This is now. Allen Iverson, Jerry Stackhouse, Derek Coleman, and the Philadelphia 76ers here at Madison Square Garden, where the Knicks have taken the floor. When we come back, Kay, Page, and the young point guards in the NBA.
Hi, everybody. Mike Crispino here at the MSG Sports Desk. The World Series, 92nd World Series. You're watching MSG Network. We're all over it.
Holidays can be difficult after the death of a loved one. That's why O.B. Davis Funeral Homes is sponsoring a special program free of charge for people who don't feel this is a happy season. Dr. Darcy Sims, noted author and grief therapist, will provide valuable suggestions and ideas on how to better cope with the season and ways to commemorate a loved one who has died. Make plans to attend this helpful program and candlelighting tribute to your loved one. For more information and free reservations, call 473-86.
Nobody knows more about homes than Century 21 Home Improvement. Hi there, I'm Carrie Whitaker, and a few days ago, this was a tired old kitchen. Hard to believe, but thanks to a process called cabinet refacing, Century 21 Home Improvements has made it beautiful again for substantially less than custom kitchen remodeling.
This video explains everything, and it's free. Refacing costs less because there's less construction. Your kitchen's framework is left intact. See? Solid wood. Why waste it? Reface it. Refacing begins by removing your old cabinet doors and drawer fronts. The finish is taken off and the original framework covered with matching laminate. Then, new cabinet doors and drawer fronts are installed in your choice of style and finish. They can also custom build cabinets, countertops, even center islands. Want to see more? Well, call for the free video and you'll see how Century 21 Home Improvements can create the kitchen you want at a price you can afford.
It's P.C. Richard & Son's giant grand opening on Boyce Road in Carl Place. Come meet the stars and get free autographs as we celebrate this giant event. Thursday, meet Basketball Hall of Famer Oscar Robertson in a rare public appearance at 6:30 p.m. This Friday, meet former Jet Marty Lyons, former Islander star Bobby Nystrom, and New York Knicks guard Charlie Ward, all appearing at 6:30 p.m. Join us and enter to win an RCA 52-inch big screen television. It's P.C. Richard's giant grand opening, 120 Boyce Road in Carl Place. Be there.
As promised, Bob Page back with you and Michael Kay, our first appearance together this year in the Knicks pregame show. Michael says he just loves Allen Iverson. The only thing I have to say to start off is that the basic premise you have to work from here is that if the Philadelphia 76ers can possibly blow it, they did and they will.
Well, why do you think they did? Because
of the Philadelphia 76ers, that's why.
Well, I mean, history does sometimes, you know, veer off a little bit. Maybe they made a good pick. This is a different ownership. Harold Katz wasn't involved. This is really Pat Croce's pick. And
that's scary, too.
The reason that they're getting criticized a lot, Bob, is they say that this guy's not a true point guard. My point is that this guy's a great player. And if you can get a great player with the #1 pick, you can make him a point guard because he has the other skills. He's quick, and Ron Harper of the Chicago Bulls says, I can't cover this guy. And I think Charlie Ward's going to have some difficulty covering him today. And with guys like Stackhouse and Coleman, Bob, if he doesn't pass him the ball enough, they'll grab them and they'll go, you better pass us the ball, and he'll become a better point guard.
Well, we're going to have to wait and see how this marriage goes. I talked to Derek just before tonight's game a short time ago, and I said, the kid's shooting too much. He says, well, yeah, you know, but we'll have to, you know, we'll try to tone him down a little bit. Can they tone him down a little bit? John Thompson couldn't tone this kid down a little bit. And when was the last time you ever saw a Georgetown player basically do what he wanted to on the floor?
Well, that tells you how good he is because John Thompson let him do that. And he was so good that he could freelance. But I think in the NBA, they're going to take away some things from him. They're already taking away what they call as a carry dribble. If he doesn't have that, he's not going to drive to the basket as much. But because he's such an offensive threat, I think that makes him a better point guard. When he finally decides that he should dish off, I think they have to play the shot. And if they play the shot, he'll become a better point guard. And the big argument is, hey, they should have picked Marbury. Well, now with the 3-year rule, you get drafted, and you're a free agent after 3 years. You can't take projects. Marbury might be the better point guard in the future. This guy might be better right now. I think it was a pretty good choice.
And the reason these guys exist is because of Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas was the first great little man who did both things. The thing to remember is that Isaiah Thomas had tremendous heart, and Isaiah Thomas was a winner. Is this kid a winner?
No, you don't know because he never really won big games with Georgetown.
That's
you know,
the
they
point.
didn't win the Big East tournament last year.
That's the point.
And but you have to go for the talent in a draft like that. They got the #1 pick, and it wasn't one of those years where they had a great center. That was the obvious pick.
Marcus Camby's pretty good.
Marcus Camby is pretty good, but then you've already got Coleman there anyway, kind of playing the same position, and they needed a point guard. Well, they got the closest thing they felt to a point guard that could help them right away. Again, does he dish enough? You better make him dish enough.
If you take Marcus Camby, you put him in the middle, he is not selfish in terms of his shots. He's going to help you rebound a little bit, too. You can find outstanding point guards, Michael, basically on the scrap heap. Look at what the Knicks did with Charlie Ward. Nobody thought he could play.
No, but he's not an outstanding point guard.
Look at Chris Childs, who is an outstanding point guard. Look at the money the Knicks gave him this year. The kid was in the CBA just a couple, 3 years ago.
Well, but I think that's few and far between. I think the Nets struck gold with that one. They took a chance with this guy. But Iverson, it could be a superstar. I don't think that Chris Childs is a superstar. Iverson could be a guy who averages 25 points a game and is a good point guard. Right now, I think he's at 20.6. So I take my chances with him. I try to keep him straight off the court. make sure he's a good guy, and then make sure he does a job on the court. You can't teach what he has, what he brings to the game. I don't think you pick those kind of players up in the CBA.
All right, you have the last word on this. We have, like, 20 seconds left in this segment. So if I take this time right down to the wire, just before we go to commercial break, I can probably get away with saying something, and we'll go right to the commercial before you have a rejoinder.
I might just shoot in with it.
Pat Henkin should have won the Cy Young Award, not the Yankees' Andy Pettitte. We'll continue here in our MCS Cannon Game Night right after we pause again for this timeout.
This is the famous Budweiser beer. We know of no brand produced by any other brew whose cost so much to brew an ace. Our explosive B20 produces a taste, a smooth. Hey, I was reading that. Smoothness and drinkability you will find in no other beer at any price.
Hey, New York.
How do you well you know your bud?
How well do you know your bud? Know your bud.
Serious.
Baby, come on.
I'm sorry. We'll never.
Around the park.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
Were you frustrated about your hair loss?
who wouldn't be?
So what happened when you called?
They really are hair transplant specialists, and they offered me the right solution. They really cared about my concerns.
Hair transplantation is totally natural because it's your own hair, and it will continue to grow for the rest of your life. Call now and put your concerns of hair loss behind you forever.
Capture the magic of the 1996 World Champion New York Yankees. This rich walnut finish plaque includes full-color team picture with roster and complete playoff and regular season records. Included are the World Series and New York Yankee logos. This World Series plaque can be yours for only $59.95. Officially licensed by Major League Baseball and the Players Association, this remarkable collector's piece will thrill the fan and your family. Order now. Call 800-216-1875 or send $59.95 to American Licensed Products at the address on the screen.
MCS Service and Canon Technology. Let us show you the possibilities.
Continuing here on our MCS Cannon Game Night program, Brooklyn native Stephon Marbury, Michael and I were just talking about him a moment ago, had hoped to return to the Minnesota lineup tonight with the T-Wolves play host of the Portland Trail Blazers, but his sprained right ankle just has not come around yet. He is out, remains out. He missed the last 4 games, in fact, of this West Coast road trip that they have just finished up on. Ex-net Derek Coleman, of course, back in town tonight with his new team, the Philadelphia 76ers. I mentioned that I'd seen Derek a short time ago. He says he is happy. Everything's fine in Philadelphia. We'll see how long this honeymoon lasts. I spoke with his college coach, Syracuse's Jim Boeheim, about Coleman last week at Big East Media Day.
I believe Derek Coleman is a lot better player than he's given credit for. He's almost a 2010 man in the NBA.
Well, he is, but that's all he cares about. That's been the problem.
Well, I think he led the Nets in their when they had their things together. He led that team to a pretty good year. I think the Nets had a lot of problems that weren't Derek Coleman's making. I'm not saying that Derek is completely absolved of any blame, but I think there were a lot of other problems in that organization that were not of his making. I believe Derek Coleman was a winner in high school where he won the state championship. He took us to the Final Four, to more wins than any player in Syracuse history has taken our program to tremendous success, and he's always been a winner. And the only organization he was with in the NBA was never a winner. So I don't think you can lay all that blame on Derek Coleman. He's a member of Dream Team 2, a 20-10 player in the NBA, and he's come back and helped us talk to our players over the years. He's given to the inner city in Detroit. He's helped his community. I think he's done a lot of positives. That is not to say he hasn't done any negatives, because he has, but he's done an awful lot of positives that have kind of got lost in the shuffle.
Jim Boeheim. And finally, what an embarrassment in Salt Lake City last night, where condensation from the ice surface for hockey underneath the Utah Jazz basketball floor caused the wood right there to warp. You saw that. They took out sanding machines. They tried to varnish it. Nothing worked. The game absolutely had to be postponed. Makeup date set for April 7th. Now, for you college basketball fans, Rutgers specifically, a very frank interview with head coach Bob Wenzel in our half-hour show after the Knicks postgame report. Stay tuned. Knicks basketball next.
MCS Cannon Knicks Game Night has been brought to you by MCS Cannon. Let us show you the possibilities. And by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who remind you fresh beer tastes better.
So I get this email from my friend. You're not there. Whoa. And all about Citibank's PC banking. It's unbelievable. You get software, 24-hour service, even an 800 helpline. All free. Banking was never this easy.
Daddy, even I can do it.
Well, maybe next year.
Get Citibank's PC banking service for any PC or Mac. Call now. 1-800-321-CITI.
Other banks charge a fortune. You believe that? But Citibank PC banking is free and better. Hey, look, did you ever pay anyone this easily? Boom. Or move money from one account to another like this?
Outrageous.
Even get stock quotes or check my Citibank credit card anytime. So I'm in control. Of my finances anyway. And it's all safely done on Citibank's private network.
Citibank's PC banking is also available for small businesses and professionals.
So why go to the bank when the bank can come to you?
Get Citibank's PC banking. Call now, 1-800-321-CITI. The city never sleeps.
We could not deny the RAV4 our top ranking.
The RAV4 breaks expected molds.
The RAV4 rides a great deal better than many a sedan.
Handling in both RAV4 models is excellent.
The all-new RAV4 recreational activity vehicle starts at only $14,948. Maybe we should start calling it the Rave 4.
Driving it is great fun.
What's your favorite animal? Oh, a cat. Do you have a cat? No, okay.
I like bears.
Yes.
How come you cry when you win a championship?
Why did I cry when we won a championship? Because it was a happy moment. I was happy to win. You know, you don't always have to cry when you're sad.
I know.
Sometimes people cry when they're happy.
Too happy.
At Foot Locker and Champs Sports.
The Maglite flashlight is a work of art that works. A Maglite flashlight is the brilliant gift idea for any occasion.
Anniversary season of Knicks basketball, and tonight on MSG we're all over it as the Knicks get set to take on Stackhouse, Iverson, Derek Coleman, and the Philadelphia 76ers. It's the first of 5 meetings. On the West Coast trip, the Knicks started against Golden State and owned the closing minutes, helped out by Patrick Ewing. They won by 5. Against the LA Clippers, they committed 32 turnovers, but overcame it all using hustle and what good teams do to win games like this. In overtime, 88-81 Knicks. Then against the Grizzlies, Patrick Ewing again was big, and the Knicks went on to win easily, filled with smiles by 19. The 3-game sweep out west has propelled the Knicks to a 5-1 record. They lead the Atlantic Division, trailed by Miami and Orlando. The Philadelphia 76ers have won 2 games in a row and come into Madison Square Garden with a record of 2-3 tonight. Good evening, everybody. I'm Al Trowick. Welcome to Knicks basketball on MSG. The Knicks made an announcement tonight about Chris Childs, their future starting point guard. His broken leg has healed sufficiently to the point where he can resume full workouts with the team tomorrow. He will do that. They will wait for him to be in game shape before reactivating him. Rookie and first-round pick Dante Jones was given a similar thumbs up. Well, we'll move on now to a man whose crossover dribble was outlawed by the league so many years ago. Marv Albert, who's joined by John Andres.
Thank you, Al. And John, as you know, that is currently under appeal. Looking back at the 3-game Western swing, the one consistent factor for the Knicks has been the all-around outstanding play of Patrick Ewing, who is certainly right at the top of his game.
Well, people around the league got a warning of that if they saw him in preseason play, Marv, as we did, and he's continued this terrific play right in the first part of this season. And on the West Coast trip, he seemed to save his best for when the game was closest. And in the first 2 games, the Knicks really needed him with 1:30 left against Golden State. Charlie Ward found him. That gave the Knicks a 6-point lead and a 5-point win. Then in Los Angeles against the Clippers, a minute 45 left in overtime. The baseline jump shot and a foul gave the Knicks a 4-point lead. And then against Bryant Reeves, the second-year player from Vancouver, well, he was just held right to his ground as Ewing fled by him. 3-game road trip for Ewing, big numbers in the scoring department. And how about those rebounds? 19 against the Clippers, and Ewing is just, as you say, Marv, on top of his game.
And for the New York Knicks, it is a first look at the #1 pick overall in last year's NBA draft by way of Georgetown, Allen Iverson, who over the first 5 games for the 76ers has put up very impressive stats.
Big things are expected from a #1 draft pick, and to no one's surprise in Philadelphia, he's delivering right now. He's doing what he must do, a little bit of scoring, actually a lot of scoring, and more assists. With the open court, he's blazing away from whoever is around him. Jerry Stackhouse found him recently. And then Derek Coleman starting to appreciate, as Stackhouse is playing with this player. Looking to pass the ball more. That's been his challenge. In fact, in his last game, he pushed Jerry Stackhouse to 36 points with his fine passing. The numbers are big for the rookie Iverson. First in 3 important categories. His field goal percentage is excellent, and he's getting plenty of minutes. In fact, Johnny Davis's job is not to wear him out, actually. He's a 6-foot guy, and he's going to take punishment.
All right, so the Knicks and the Sixers are getting ready. Coming up, they'll meet for the first of 5 times this season. When we come back, the introduction of the starting lineup. Sixers at 2 and 3. And here are the starting lineups.
Assistant coaches for Mitch Chase, Ed Badger, and Bob Osipka. The trainer is Kevin Carroll. And now for the 76ers starting lineup. At guard, at 6 feet from Georgetown, #3, Allen Iverson. At guard, at 6'6" from North Carolina, #42, Jerry Stackhouse. At forward, at 6'7" from Southern Mississippi, #35, Clarence Weatherspoon. At forward, at 6'10" from Syracuse, #44, Derek Coleman. And at center, at 6'10" from North Carolina, #55, Scott Williams.
Go, boy. Go get us one. Get us one now. 1, 2, 3, 6.
The coaches for your New York Knicks are Chip Van Gundy, Don Cheney, Brendan Malone, Tom Thibodeau, and Jeff Knicks. The trainers are Mike Saunders, Tim Walsh, and Greg Brittenham.
Charlie Ward, who is starting at point guard, was a question, but he is in the starting lineup, bothered by what is called a bruised left buttock. So Charlie is slowed up, and the matchup will be against the outstanding rookie Allen Iverson. Earlier we asked Iverson, will he look to exploit that matchup tonight against Ward?
I don't know. I feel every matchup is in my favor. I'm always going to look at it like that. But there's so many great players, point guards definitely in this league. And I don't know, you can't take anybody for granted. So I'm going to play those guys just like I would play anybody else.
I like that confidence. He feels he has the edge in every matchup. Well, I must say, Marv, it's going to be exciting to see Iverson play here for many fans. I have never seen him play in person, and it'd be interesting to see also how the Knicks help Charlie Ward or whoever is matched up on him in those situations where Iverson's speed gets him around the initial defender.
Allen Iverson comes in averaging 21.4 points per game. Charlie Ward will be matched up against him. Iverson shooting 47%, 22 assists. He has turned it over, though, 24 times. And the Sixers would like to see him give up the ball a bit more. That was the case in their last game against the Phoenix Suns. As a result, Jerry Stackhouse had a career-high 36 points. And this following a career low of 5 points against the Celtics on Friday for Stackhouse.
That assist-to-turnover ratio is a great goal for Iverson, and it will be as his career unfolds. A player like Muggsy Bogues, 4 assists to 1 turnover. That's the goal instead of 1 for 1.
The official, Jack Neese, Monty McCutcheon, Scott Foster, and Patrick Ewing jumping against Scott Williams. The Knicks controlling. Charlie Ward gets the pick from Larry Johnson. Offensive foul. It is called on Ewing.
Ewing in the low post setting up a pick to get Allen Houston free. And the official, Jack Neese, thought he was a little too physical with that pick.
So Iverson handles against Ward with that high dribble. Scott Williams. And here's Derek Coleman's strip. Charles Oakley able to bat it away. Allen Houston trying to regain the form that he had in the games at Madison Square Garden, coming off a poor shooting West Coast swing. Ward for 3. Charlie Ward getting right to it.
Great confidence by Charlie, looking for the shot.
And that jumper by Charlie Ward as Iverson got the step and was fouled. The jumper by Charlie Ward stops the streak of Charles Oakley, who had managed to hit the Knicks' first field goal for the last 4 games. Ward is called on that foul. And Iverson to the free throw line. Iverson is shooting only 60% at the line.
Iverson took that poor shooting from the line from Georgetown also, where he did not shoot his fouls very well. 68% in his 2-year period at Georgetown.
And you can see Allen Iverson leading the way in terms of rookies in the scoring column, but not able to hit the 2 free throws. And again, the whistle away from the ball against the 76ers this time. It is on Scott Williams. Scott Williams at about 6'10" is playing center, and a lot of tough matchups for Scott Williams, who is more of a natural power forward and a guy who could fill in at center.
This is a team, the Sixers, without a 7-footer. They will have Michael Cage to present as the game goes on after Williams, but Ewing is moving with great confidence to that low post position.
Foul committed by Stackhouse. You see the head coach of the Sixers, Johnny Davis, in his first year as head coach, taking over from John Lucas. Spent 6 years in the NBA as an assistant. Here's Houston. Oakley tried to save it, but deflected it out of bounds, and the ball will go to the 76ers. Philadelphia 76ers lost their first 3 games. They have won their last 2. Coming off the solid win over the Phoenix Suns, 112-95. And a reach-in foul. Ward going for the steal. Well, Oakley called for the foul. Blocking foul on Oakley. In the last game, Sixers shot 51% from the field.
That was the best of their 5 games as well by far. Also made 9 threes.
Oh, tipped home by Scott Williams on the miss by Derek Coleman. And Philadelphia with its first field goal. The Knicks 3 and the Sixers 2. Here's Ward whipping by Iverson.
Charlie's very comfortable with that left hand when needed.
Charlie Ward with all 5 Knick points. It's got caught on an overplay. And Scott Williams hit the reverse. The Knicks by 1. For the Knicks, it is the first of 3 straight at home. Thursday, the Toronto Raptors will be here. Saturday afternoon, the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Ewing is dying for that basketball. He cannot get his teammates to find him.
Larry Johnson for 3. And Stackhouse from downtown. A 3 for Stackhouse, and the Sixers lead 7-5. Ewing setting up at the right baseline. And here is his first shot attempt. Stackhouse able to draw the foul. It's on Houston.
When Iverson entered his NBA life, the focus for him initially was on scoring, which is what he's done so well. But now, early in the year, early in his pro career, he's thinking more about passing. And it's evident as he's been looking for people as he's come down court every time. And that was Jerry Stackhouse on that turnaround.
And the Sixers now lead 9-5. 7-0 run by Philadelphia.
Ewing is working so hard for position, and he's getting it, but his teammates aren't looking at him at those moments, and that's Larry Johnson powering his way in for 2.
So the Sixer lead is now 9-7. Iverson. Scott Williams off the fake. Able to beat Ewing up high and then whipped by Oakley, and a fast start offensively for Scott Williams. 6 points. Jeff Van Gundy taking the early timeout with 4:02 gone by, and the Sixers up 11-7.
Coming out on the court, taking a look at him a couple of moments ago, hands up, waiting for the ball. But when he's in that position, his teammates haven't been looking for him. And bad timing between Ewing and his teammates. That was Larry Johnson on that last drive for success.
Knick offense at the start has been uneven. Sixers have hit their last 5 shots after missing their first. Knicks not getting good shots. And the Sixers lead 11-7. 7.5 remaining in this opening quarter. Here's Coleman. He changed his mind. Looked like he was going to gun for the 3, and then saw Stackhouse cutting, and it led to the foul. Allen Houston called for his second. Derek Coleman looking in good shape. You recall last year, after the trade from the New Jersey Nets, here's John Starks checking in. Coleman injury hit with ankle and leg problems, ballooned to 285, 290 pounds, and then got injured and played only 11 games last season. Illegal defense call for the first time. When in shape and healthy, Derek Coleman, a remarkable talent. The block by Ward on Iverson. Iverson with the recovery. Iverson with the rebound and pops it out. Coleman for 3. And rebounded by Johnson.
No question about Coleman, Marv. And I was thinking tonight, this is one of the few games he's played in that I've seen anyway, where he hasn't been the main story for the opposition. Tonight the focus is on Iverson, and Coleman's just one of the guys.
Larry Johnson shows the outside touch. That's his second field goal. Sixers 11. The Knicks 9. Quick release jumper by Iverson is popping from all angles. He is now 0 for 4. Get the idea. Very anxious to impress here at Madison Square Garden. possession. Oakley with the rebound. And he's tied the game.
He was too wide for Coleman to deal with.
Crossover move by Stackhouse, who got it to Coleman. Beautifully done by Jerry Stackhouse, and the Sixers lead by 2. Here's Ward with the step. And the foul is called. You get the idea that Charlie Ward is a bit more motivated than he might be against most opposition and going up against Allen Iverson?
Yes, he's looking at a guy who's probably about 2 inches shorter than him or thereabouts, and he's showing his competitive fire. That's clear, Marv.
Ewing getting position. Yes. And the game is tied at 13 for Ewing, his first field goal.
He got the ball right where he wanted it.
Stackhouse had it knocked away. Here's Starks. Williams back. Starks. Well done by John Starks, protecting the dribble from Scott Williams. And the Knicks take a 2-point lead. Iverson. Stackhouse. And the Knicks look to run, led by Oakley. Bad pass. He lost the grip. Looked like he hurt his hand. And the open shot for Iverson. 3-pointer for Iverson. That's his first field goal. Sixers by 1.
I think, Marv, that Oakley has a tender right hand. I ran into him in the hotel the other day in Vancouver, and
is that how he hurt his hand when you ran into him?
Well, I shook hands with him, lefty, and he appreciated that because his right hand was pretty sore.
3-on-1 Stackhouse. Not able to field that lead pass. Iverson upset with himself, but Stackhouse did draw the foul. Larry Johnson called for the foul. And Jerry Stackhouse to the free throw line. You see Charles Oakley trying to work it out. Just under 5 minutes remaining in this first quarter. And the Sixers struggling at the line. They are 0 for 3 at the line. The numbers on Jerry Stackhouse. Did score the career high 36 Saturday against Phoenix, and was 12 of 14 at the line in that game. 76ers 17 and the Knicks 15. First of 5 meetings this season between the Knicks and Sixers. It's the only team that the Knicks will play 5 times. Foul call. It is on Iverson. Last year the Knicks took 3 of 4 from Philly. Overall they have won 8 of their last 9 against the Sixers.
The win by the Sixers in Philadelphia on March 8th, the day that Jeff Van Gundy took over as head coach of the Knicks, and Stackhouse in that game led the way with 29.
Charlie Ward on the hesitation dribble. Oh, what a move. He beat Iverson, who did not want to pick up a 3. 7 points for Ward, and the game is tied at 17. Here's Iverson popping it back out. Stackhouse for 3. So the Sixers now lead 20-17, and Stackhouse has 9 points.
The tender area defensively for the Sixers is in the center position, and the Knicks are really attacking that area. They don't have a big man to swat shots away. As I said before, no 7-footers on their roster.
Larry Johnson showing us a variety of moves. He thought he was fouled. Sixers lead by 1. Stackhouse guarded by Starks. To the left-hand dribble. And the rebound is put home by Scott Williams.
What a classic example of what can happen when the man isn't boxed out. Oakley had the ball just about in his hands, but Williams came right around him with no contact on him and reached over Charles.
Philadelphia has a 3-point lead. Substitution, Lucius Harris replacing Jerry Stackhouse, who leads with 9 points. Lucius Harris, one-time member of the Dallas Mavericks, spent 3 years with Dallas and signed with the Sixers as a free agent. Ward and Ewing. Ward with the rebound, dumps it off. Nicely done. Larry Johnson for the foul. Charlie Ward has outplayed Allen Iverson here in this opening quarter. 7 points, 2 assists. That would have been a third had Larry Johnson been able to hit. Coleman is called on the foul.
Nice look inside. Ewing to Larry Johnson, who works his way into the foul line.
Larry Johnson with 7 points, coming off a 6 for 10 for 12 in the wrap-up of the Western trip in Vancouver on Sunday night. Coming into tonight, the Knicks are third in the NBA, averaging 101 points per game.
The defense is excellent also, allowing the third fewest amount of points.
Starks with the steal, made possible by the play of Oakley. Johnson for Ewing, and he draws the foul. Nice pass again by Ward. Foul on Scott Williams. That is his second.
Good look inside to Patrick Ewing, who gets the usual double and triple teaming. Well, I want to correct a defensive statistic. The Knicks are allowing 91 a game to their opposition right now, 10 under their scoring average so far for the season, which is a nice spread.
Game tied at 22 with 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. That was nearly an air ball. Allen Iverson playing with the 2 personal fouls, as is Scott Williams. Weatherspoon, who has rarely touched the ball, and then stripped by the combination of Ward and Johnson. Oakley rebounded by Eric Coleman. Scott Williams running the floor. Coleman tried to get it to him. Larry Johnson kind of enjoyed that last crossover move by Coleman. Here's Coleman off the lead from Iverson. Nicely done. And the Sixers lead 24-22. Ewing now facing a double team as Weatherspoon came over.
Patrick showing some frustration, I think, Marv, from not getting the ball earlier. That's Iverson on the foul line jumper. But the one good thing for him is that he can shoot his jumper over Williams, having the height advantage.
76ers lead by 4. Here's Ewing. Got the step, could not hit. So Ewing is now 1 for 6.
Boy, Scott Williams got soft on that defensive play, or lack of defense, as Ewing all of a sudden had a short one-handed push shot with no one in front of him, it seemed.
Ewing passed up on the jumper, picks up the assist. Larry Johnson saying thank you to Patrick Ewing. So the Sixers lead by 2, and a timeout is taken. 10 points for Johnson to lead the Knicks with 1:01 to go in the first inning. In this first quarter, the word earlier from the Knicks front office that Chris Childs has been cleared to begin full-scale practice with the team. There's Chris starting tomorrow. He'll begin working with the club. His progress will be monitored on a daily basis as to his future activation. Chris has been sidelined since October the 11th with the non-displaced fracture of the right fibula, a fractured leg. And rookie Dante Jones has also been cleared to begin working out. Illegal defense, second violation against the Knicks, so a technical foul, and Derek Coleman will go to the line. Dante Jones is rehabilitating from surgery he had on his left foot in late June. Both players examined today by Knicks team physician Dr. Norman Scott. That is Dante to the right. 46 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Herb Williams and Scott Brooks have checked in for the first time. Weatherspoon started to pull it back out. And here's Harris. Rebounded by Weatherspoon. Doug Overton on the floor for the first time. Operating as the point guard. He'd been out with a sprained ankle the last couple of games. Shot clock at 10. Three-point attempt to fling as Derek Coleman hammers down the three. And the Sixers are up 30-24. 10 seconds to go in this first quarter. Starks, yes. Sixers 30 and the Knicks 26. Final seconds of the quarter. Overton racing down. After one here at Madison Square Garden. Philadelphia 76ers leading the New York Knicks 30-26.
And now from Paris, from Milan, from St. Louis.
Introducing a new look from Budweiser. Born on dating. It's the day your Bud was born, because fresh beer tastes better.
Nice label.
Thanks.
Do I like to shop? Oh, yes. How you doing? Franks and beans? Aisle 5. Beans and Franks? Aisle 7.
Hi. Hi.
Fat free. Nothing but carb. Check this out. You are 1 millionth shopper! Even at the supermarket, you can do more with the American Express card. I love this card.
Buy any Gabriel Gas Shock or Gas Strut at Meinike's regular price and get the second one at 25% off. At Meineke, you're not going to pay a lot, but you'll get a lot.
I guarantee it. As one of the ghosts in A Christmas Carol, but also Tony Randall, who's back as Scrooge. That's got to add some new vitality to the shows, huh, Ben?
It's incredible. Working with Tony was wonderful. He's a master, you know, and he's a very funny man.
Is there going to be that comedic element to his portrayal?
You got to. Yeah. You got to have that.
And what about you? What can you do differently compared to what you did in last year's successful run?
Be better than I was last year.
How do you do that?
How do I do that? Yeah. By the fact of me being there and the audience coming out excels me and I get enthusiastic about playing this role.
Now they've been configuring the theater for some time now, turning that into the Dickensian town. Yeah, they're working on that. And that's got to make it a very unique atmosphere to work in. You're surrounded by the town.
Tony Walton has done an incredible job in producing and designing this show. And Mike Ockerin and Susan Stroman and everyone, all the players involved have really come to the table with new ideas and new vitality, and the cast is incredible and the crew's incredible, so you can have a wonderful show this year.
Well, Ben, it's good to see you. That means the holiday season is right around the corner. Thanks very much.
It's here.
Yeah. All right, Marv, that's Ben Vereen, and it's A Christmas Carol starting November 22nd at the theater. Tickets are on sale now or through Ticketmaster. Back to you.
Thank you, Alan. I know John turned down the role of Scrooge, asked for the second straight year. They felt he'd be perfectly typecast and said no.
No, Marv, I wouldn't have been in character.
Sixers 30 and the Knicks 27 as this second quarter gets underway. Philadelphia popping from three-point range, 4 of 8 from downtown in the first quarter. Lane violation again, second straight. And a delay of game warning against the 76ers. The throw in the book against the Sixers here at the start of the second quarter. The Knicks have Buck Williams on the floor now, up front with Larry Johnson and Herb Williams, Scott Brooks and John Starks in the backcourt. Larry Johnson not able to take advantage.
Jeff Van Gundy matching Ward with Iverson. When Iverson came out, Brooks came in, and feeling naturally that Scott Brooks, who did such a terrific job in Vancouver, is adequate certainly in a big way.
The
Naturally, that Scott Brooks, who did such a terrific job in Vancouver, is adequate, certainly in a big way, to do the job behind Charlie now.
Weatherspoon way off with that shot, and here comes Brooks. Brooks now picked up by Overton. Mark Davis, rookie, second-year player from Texas Tech, also on the floor for the first time, as is Michael Cage. Starks. And it was deflected out, last touched by the Sixers.
Well, John pushed that one up a little too quickly. When you see a player at that angle miss the rim entirely, I think it was because he was looking for a pick and roll with Herb Williams, but Herb just didn't respond to that.
Here is Johnson, way off. Knicks hitting glass, not hitting the rim the last couple of attempts. And an offensive foul on Overton. That was drawn by Brooks. Good work by Scotty Brooks.
Overton was straight arming Brooks as he tried to get free.
And the crowd reacts as John Wallace reports in for the first time, coming off a terrific road trip. Wallace, pass broken up, batted out of bounds by Mark Davis. Davis, a guy who can play both up front and in the backcourt, signed as a free agent following a year with the Timberwolves. 76ers by 3, minute and a half gone by in the second quarter. Here's Starks with a driving hook, and that barely touched the rim. No, it didn't. Apparently did not, because it's a 24-second violation.
Marv, John wasn't looking at the basket when he threw the shot up.
Well aware that the shot clock was running down, he just wanted to fire it up. But it has been a horrendous string of shots by the Knicks here in the second quarter, and a foul is called. It is on Brooks. The Knicks now have a lineup of Herb Williams, Buck Williams, and John Wallace. John Starks and Scott Brooks in the backcourt. Davis played by Wallace. Harris, Overton, Weatherspoon. And that is a travel on Clarence Weatherspoon, who's having difficulty getting started. Clarence Weatherspoon, in his 5th year out of Southern Mississippi. In recent years, although the 76ers have certainly had a miserable time of it, he's been their big gun. Here's Wallace. And last touch by Philadelphia.
Kind of an irony now with the Weatherspoon, who's defined as a small forward at 6'6", yet he doesn't have a perimeter game to speak of, whereas Derek Coleman, the power forward, has the long-range game as well as the inside game. Suggestion is that maybe Weatherspoon is available in a trade now, that this personnel situation has turned around for the Sixers, who are featuring 7 new players on their roster this season compared to last year. Sure, a lot of teams would love to have Clarence Weatherspoon, a very dependable player, strong, high scorer, got a lot of abilities for a lot of different teams. We saw one out in Vancouver, perhaps, that where he'd fit well.
Herb Williams at the line. He was fouled by Mark Davis. So the Knicks trail by 1. Michael Cage is up front along with Clarence Weatherspoon and Mark Davis. Shot clock at 3. Davis. And back comes Starks. Knicks 0 for 4 from the field in the second quarter. Buck Williams called for a travel. Make it 0 for 5, and what makes it even worse, the Knicks are not hitting the rim.
On that play, after that hard work by Buck, he just lost his balance under the basket to add to the frustration of the Knicks.
Brooks all over Overton, looking for the steal, also looking for the call, but will not get it. Foul is on Brooks. Here's Jerry Stackhouse checking back in. Allen Iverson also has returned. Look at that last sequence. Scott Brooks looking for the foul, but it was called the other way. Iverson now being played by Brooks. Scott Brooks, one-time 76er. Iverson with a beautiful move. And the Sixers now lead 32-29.
This might force Jeff Van Gundy to think about Charlie Ward again. Iverson sailed right around Scott Brooks.
And that's the first field goal for either team in this second quarter. John Wallace contributes the first field goal for the Knicks.
One of the qualities Wallace has advertised to his team and players around the league is his ability to finish plays around the basket. He always seems to get it done.
What a move by Iverson, but he gave it up. Here's Stackhouse. And Buck Williams with the rebound. Brooks on a pull-up. Iverson on the run. Look at the speed. Allen Iverson with a sensational move. Quiet first quarter. Was played well by Charlie Ward, who actually outplayed him, but he has now come on.
What a reaction by the fans, too. That was the special talents of Allen Iverson.
And the steal by Davis. 3-on-1. Foul committed by Brooks, who has picked up his third.
Davis ought to apologize to his teammates. He said something. It was a 3-on-1. He held that ball. Had he given it up, they should have gotten a layup by spreading out the defender. One man can't guard three.
And the Knicks call for time. The Knicks 1 of 7 thus far in the second quarter.
January 10th and 11th. Stay tuned for details. We'd also like to thank Sharp Electronics and Anheuser-Busch for being part of the continuous celebrations that will take place throughout the season.
7.5 remaining in the first half, and the Sixers lead by 3 points. Charlie Ward is back, as in Allen Houston. Iverson. Offensive rebound by Scott Williams, who has played well, and they get the new 24. Davis putting the ball on the floor and was fouled. Foul committed by Wallace. So the Knicks now with Patrick Ewing up front, along with John Wallace and Buck Williams, Charlie Ward, Allen Houston in the backcourt. Knicks have not been able to get anything going in the second quarter. Wallace looking for the call, claiming that he deflected it off Davis. Here at Madison Square Garden, the Knicks have won 5 straight and 14 of the last 15 against the Sixers. Neither club burning it up here in the second, but Philadelphia leads by 3. Coleman had it knocked away. Played well by Buck Williams. Ewing getting position, backing his way on Scott Williams.
Well, the game plan says that's the way it should be every time. Ewing should be able to get that position, and it's starting to happen.
Scott Williams with 10 points.
He's demanding Ewing to come out and put that hand up in his face.
Well, he's hit all 5 of his shots, and it's the Sixers by 3. 6:20 to go in the first half. Allen Houston looking for a shot, met by Coleman on the switch. Wallace missed the tip, and Coleman protects the dribble. Iverson's pass, I believe he was looking for Spike Lee at courtside.
Spike didn't catch it, though. I think he might have been ducking based on the speed of that pass.
Charlie Ward. And Ewing stripped. Stackhouse. Stackhouse fouled. Foul committed by Ward. Interesting what has developed between Jerry Stackhouse out of North Carolina and another one-time Tar Heel by the name of Michael Jordan, who uses whatever he can to motivate himself. John, you recall last year where Stackhouse was in the midst of a good scoring binge, and he made the statement that, you know, the NBA is not that tough a jump from the college level.
Right.
And that is all Jordan had to hear, and that's when he, next time they met, lit him up for 50 plus.
It's taken Stackhouse a while. This year he had 36 in the last game, but in the prior 4 he hadn't even accumulated as much as 20 points in a game. So he's slowly getting into it this season.
Stackhouse tonight, 10 points, 3 of 6 from the field. He and Scott Williams, the high point man. Larry Johnson leading the Knicks with 11. Iverson behind the back for Coleman. And here's Coleman again. Air ball tipped by Scott Williams. And we get a whistle. And apparently it was an inadvertent whistle. The basket does count.
What a sensational play. What timing by Scott Williams after that tremendous move by Iverson getting free. Derek Coleman forcing it a little bit, but Williams under the basket, no one leaning on him, got the hand on the ball.
Offensive foul. Foul on Wallace. It has been a poorly played first half by the Knicks. They're down by 6. Coming up on 5 minutes remaining in this first half. Remember, the Knicks did not play well, although they are road games, so you allow for a different situation. And that was tipped home by Davis. 7-0 run by the Sixers. Knicks did not play well in the games against Golden State and San Jose and against the Clippers in LA, although they won both games and then had an easy time with Vancouver on Sunday. The Knicks are hearing some boos from the crowd. They're trailing the Sixers 41-33.
Stackhouse last year, one of the top rookies in the NBA. Iverson this year looking like the top NBA guard by far. And look at their numbers as new players in Philadelphia this year. That's a very hefty backcourt combination building up. Right now, a man named Mark Davis in his second year is making people take notice, not only here at the Garden tonight, but around the league. He's had a couple of terrific games already in this young season. Take a look at that last play by Scott Williams, tapping the ball in.
.440 remaining in the first half, and Ewing is able to get inside.
Ewing is so dominant physically. He just wants to get that basketball down low, and obviously the Knicks want to repeat that.
And apparently Iverson stepped out. And here's Charles Oakley checking back in. .425 remaining in the first half. And the Sixers are up by 6 points. Houston. And last touched by Williams. A diving, hustling Scott Williams. Scott Williams has hit 6 for 6 from the field. He has 12 points and he has 6 rebounds. Ewing. Patrick Ewing brings the Knicks within 4.
The thing that Jeff Van Gundy's been selling his team from the beginning of the year is movement of the bodies on the basketball court. When the Knicks are not functioning well on offense, it's because they're a little too stationary.
Stockhouse is getting too much room. Allen Houston reacting late in trying to come out and meet Stackhouse. That's a 3. His 3rd of the game. He now has 13 points, and the Sixers lead by 7. in this first half is so out of sync. And you mentioned earlier, it looked like Ewing was getting frustrated. Now he's taking bad shots. He's forcing the issue.
There is not enough passing of the basketball going on, not enough motion on the court.
Coming up on 3 minutes remaining in this first half. Open shot for Davis. And Ward leads Johnson. Here's Johnson. Blocked and fouled by Stackhouse. Good effort, though, by Jerry Stackhouse. Johnson actually slowed down, looking to draw the foul. Now timeout taken by the Sixers.
You ever look at a lot?
Oakley. Yes. Charles Oakley with Derek Coleman right on him. And the Knicks now trail by 3. Charles Oakley shooting so well. Coming into tonight, 23 of 33, 70% from the field. Blocking foul. Foul on Ward. He leads the NBA in shooting percentage.
That's a special moment for Charles. And we're not talking layups and moves around the basket. We're talking driving home those jump shots.
Jerry Stackhouse now 4 of 5 at the line. Here's John Starks reporting back. There you see Oakley just under 70% in front of Rasheed Wallace is off to the good start with the Portland Trailblazers. Tonight Oakley is 2 of 4. Sixers lead 46-41. Just under 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Ewing with the drop step. Strong move by Patrick Ewing. He has 11.
Double team got there, but too late.
76ers lead by 3. Larry Johnson doing a good job in fronting Clarence Weatherspoon. Stackhouse so deceptive with the dribble. Iverson for 3. And last touch by the Knicks. So the Sixers get the new 24. What an exciting backcourt. Jerry Stackhouse and Allen Iverson, and Stackhouse buries another jump shot. He's killed the Knicks in this first half. 17 for Stackhouse, and the Sixers lead by 5.
He's not feeling Allen Houston defensively.
Bad pass. Here's Iverson putting the speed on, and he is fouled. Walloped by Oakley. Stackhouse put his arm on Oakley. Charles did not like it. Took a swipe at Stackhouse. Charles Oakley did not want to be touched by Jerry Stackhouse after the hard foul offered up.
John Starks, meanwhile, Marv made a very big recovery as well. See that ball going into the, you can see Starks with the block of the shot, and Oakley was there to add his physical presence.
And it is being called a flagrant foul. There's some discussion by the officials. Flagrant fouls being called very close. You can certainly argue on that one. Although perhaps with Charles Oakley involved, he is not going to get the benefit of the doubt. But it looked like it was Oakley following through, and then, well, they felt that it was an unnecessary hit on the part of Charles.
I think also the defender has to show that he has a chance at blocking the shot. Charles is so aggressive. Many of his plays are body, all body, and the body aspect there is what made the call flagrant. And he just hit him in the body.
Sixers by 6, 45 seconds to go in the half. Scott Williams Had it knocked away by Charles Oakley, and a foul. It's on Williams. Loose ball foul for Scott Williams. That is his third. Scott Williams, one-time member of the Chicago Bulls. In fact, he was there for the first 3 Bulls championships. Johnson. And the Knicks now trail by 4.
Power move by Larry Johnson. Boy, he looked like a locomotive on that move, and the Sixers have nobody to deal with him down low when he puts his shoulder down like that.
And it's been a strong first half for Larry Johnson. 22nd timeout called by the Sixers. Coming up, the Tri-State Jeep and Eagle halftime report. 25 seconds remaining in the half. Bob Page will be at the MSG Sports Desk. And Al with Walt Clyde Frazier to chat about what we saw take place in this first half.
Well, clear out for Larry Johnson, and he just took off, leaving Weatherspoon behind him. Scott Williams couldn't do anything about it. Solid half for Larry Johnson, who has a lot of reason to be confident out there the way he's playing. A lot of balance for the Knicks once again on the offensive end here in the first half.
Mark Davis, who played well earlier, back on the floor for the 76ers. Knicks have picked up the shooting after the slow start. They opened up the quarter 2 of 10. Iverson with that hesitation dribble. Good hands by Larry Johnson to break up the pass. 3 on the 24. And 9 and 9/10 seconds to go in the first half. Here's Davis. Ewing with the rebound and foul. Sixers now over the foul limit.
Ewing had an excellent box out going there. He had the position. He owned that part of the court.
So Patrick Ewing to the line with 6 seconds remaining in this first half. Ewing is 1 for 2 at the line. Looked like the Knick offensive flow settled down after the bad run through a good portion of the second quarter. Now Doug Overton back in for Allen Iverson.
1 free throw.
Johnny Davis does not want Iverson to pick up a 3rd foul. 10 points for Iverson. Stackhouse leading the way with 17. Ewing cuts it to a 3-point Sixer lead. Final seconds of the half. Here's Davis putting moves on. Davis with the finger roll. And time has run out in this first half. So it's the 76ers 49 and the Knicks 46. Halftime at the Garden. Bob Page in a moment at the Sports Desk.
Jet lag. Oh, tough it up. Now, you've got to be able to figure out jet lag after all these years. Well, they've been very sporadic on the offense as well as the defense, but don't take anything from the Sixers. They played a nice game.
Well, it's been a long time between good teams in Philadelphia, and they've got one now. We'll take you through the highlights. They're brought to you by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers, and there's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. Everybody came out to see Iverson and the skills, and he's got plenty.
Yeah, he is not disappointed. This guy's diminutive, only 6 feet, 165. But watch this play, a la Dr. J, as he swoops to the hoop with the finger roll.
And Clyde, when he's not going to the basket on the penetration, that creates opportunities on the outside because the Knicks have to respect his driving ability.
He leads them in dishing, 4 game. Stackhouse, the recipient with this one. Stackhouse off to a prolific start, so he's been draining the jumpers from the perimeter.
Knicks have the size advantage down low, and they take advantage of it in the presence of Ewing.
Williams, really a power forward, has 2 fouls here. Ewing are cognizant of that, so he's just going to manipulate his way inside off the glass.
And a very nice first half for Larry Johnson. 15 points, 3 rebounds.
LJ's most prolific start as a Knick. His high has been 18, has 15 now, and the Knicks need to do more of that. Look to go inside to Patrick and LJ.
I've got a question for you, Mr. Hall of Famer. Could you have kept up with this little Allen Iverson guy?
No, I think he's too elusive for me, right?
Wow, I am stunned.
But conversely, he could not have kept up with me, folks.
You'd be good on the radio.
I would have toast him all night.
You would have. That's more of the Clyde, I know. We'll get back for the second half. Marvin John with the call. The Knicks are down 3. The call.
Thank you, Al. Sputtering a bit, particularly early in the second quarter, and then seemed to straighten things out offensively against this new-look Philadelphia 76er team that comes in with a record of 2-3. Lost their first 3. They've won their last 2, including the Saturday night win at home against the Phoenix Suns. Game that saw them shoot 51%. On the subject of statistics, in the first half, the Sixers 19 of 41, 46%. The Knicks 18 for 37 from the field, 49%. And Philly doing it from three-point range, 5 of 11 from downtown. They've had the edge off the boards. The assists even. Sixers with 11 turnovers. Knicks with only 9, which these days for the Knicks a low number. Have their problems in that department. First 2 games of the Western swing against the Warriors and the Clippers.
I think, Marvin, the first half tonight, the Knicks showed some effects of an all-day flight yesterday back from Vancouver. Just not sharp. Perhaps this second half they will be a little sharper as they got rid of their West Coast legs. Or as Alan Houston referred to it, the weather out west was a little too nice, he felt. And it affected his game negatively. He said that, of course, with tongue-in-cheek.
And I know the Knicks were experimenting. There's a turnover, miscommunication between Larry Johnson and Charlie Ward. In the past, they would leave right after the game and then arrive 4 or 5 in the morning, and they felt this would be better. They'd get the night's sleep in Vancouver and then take the plane ride under normal conditions, but perhaps they'll rethink that in the future. And Allen Iverson, after the slow start, has picked it up. He now has 12 points. Sixers 51 and the Knicks 46. Open shot for Oakley. Rebounded by Johnson. Allen Houston 0 for 3 from the field thus far, and having difficulty finding shots. There's one. Hits from downtown. His first field goal.
Seems when he hits those jumpers, the net splashes. I mean, it looks so beautiful, even right to the point when it goes in the basket.
Sixers 51 and the Knicks 49. Iverson. Derek Coleman with the rebound, and here's Jerry Stackhouse. Iverson can jump. Listed at 6 foot, but about 5'10". Ewing rejected. Scott Williams and Derek Coleman coming over to make the stop, and then Stackhouse fouled by Johnson. That's the second for Larry Johnson.
Ewing working in close on Scott Williams, going up for the shot, and he was sent away with good help by the Sixers. Stackhouse right there. Good helping defense. That's the kind of help they haven't presented in the last several years. This team, Sixers coming in now, 6 straight years their record has gotten worse. And in other words, last year they hit a low compared to 6 years prior. It just kept getting worse and worse as the years have gone on. But it looks like it's going to change now with this new infusion of talent.
Stackhouse now 4 of 8 from the line, and Sixers only 6 of 13 overall at the free throw line. Knicks down by 2. Houston. Shot clock running down. Ward for 3. Charlie Ward hits the 3 right at the 24-second buzzer, and the Knicks lead by 1. It has been an outstanding game for Ward. He now has 10 points, and he's hit 4 of 4 from the field. First miss for Scott Williams, kept alive by Weatherspoon. Iverson for 3. Allen Iverson with 15 points. And the Sixers are up 54-52. For Iverson, it's his second three-pointer. Houston run into by Stackhouse. That's 3 on Stackhouse.
Just talking about the Sixers, rough times they've had lately, the last several years, going back to 1989 season, and each year they have slid in that column on the left, in the victory column. And now they have a, let's see, Marv, you can see 53 down to 18 wins last year. They have a new president, they have a new point guard, they have a new general manager.
Yes,
it is a new arena.
Beginning of yet another new era. Got our former owner Harold Katz, general manager and coach John Lucas. It is a three-pointer again for Iverson, who has 18, and the Sixers now lead 57-54. Philadelphia 7 of 14 from downtown. Larry Johnson. He has 17. Good shooting by both teams here in the third with 4 minutes gone by. Yes, the new team president is Pat Croce, one-time fitness guru. And the foul against the Knicks. Don Ewing. He was a fitness guru for the Flyers and the Sixers. The new general manager, Brad Greenberg, one-time Knicks assistant coach. And the new coach is Johnny Davis. So the ball back to the Sixers.
I think one of the good ironies as Jeff Van Gundy surveys the scene here is that the last time Pat Croce, the president of the team now, was at Madison Square Garden was 6 years ago, as he was telling us at halftime, and at that time he was here and his job was to tape ankles.
He was the strength coach of the Philadelphia Flyers. It was telling us a Ranger Flyer playoff game. Charlie Ward with a gorgeous move, but could not complete it. Here comes Iverson. Stackhouse met by Houston, and the foul committed by Oakley.
Iverson's pushing of that basketball made it happen, however. When you get somebody who can run like that, all you want to do if you're a forward or another member of the Sixers is to try and stay with him. And he created it with his fast movement. Scott Williams piling his way, Derek Coleman piling his way in then for the finish.
Coleman is 1 of 1 at the line. Now has 9 points in his 7th season out of Syracuse. Spent 5 tumultuous years with the New Jersey Nets. Last season played only 11 games with Philadelphia. Injury hit season. And remember, received that major scare last preseason. Doctors discovered an irregular heartbeat. He is now said to be okay. 76ers lead by 2.
He got real serious over the summer, and it reflects in his waistline and in his upper body. You know, Marv, he's gotten smaller around the waist and bigger on top, just like Damon Stoudemire, who we'll see here Thursday night with Toronto. Noticed him when we were up there for the opening game. Boy, he got big on top.
Damon and the Raptors here on Thursday night in game 2 of the 3-game homestand. Larry Johnson. That was blocked by Clarence Weatherspoon. Eric Coleman protecting the dribble. Nice pass. Weatherspoon blocked by Ewing. And a timeout called. 6:52 remaining in the third.
Freshness hotline, what's the problem?
Man, my party is lame. I think I got some skunky beer.
Sir, relax. When was your beer born?
Born? What are you talking about?
It doesn't have a born-on date?
A what?
Do you have any Budweiser?
No, man, you gotta help me.
Okay, remain calm, sir. We're on our way.
New Born on Dating from Budweiser, because fresh beer tastes better.
Go! Sir, put down the skunky beer and slowly back away.
Oh, Mr. Jordan, Mr. Jordan. Next year, when I grow up, I'm going to win an NBA title. And when I'm 9, I'm going to be in a movie like Space Jam. And when I'm 10, I'm going to eat deluxe sandwiches, just like you.
That's pretty ambitious.
Now.
Coleman, Williams, Weatherspoon up front. Iverson and Stackhouse in the backcourt. Forced shot by Coleman.
Good pressure by Larry Johnson, making it so.
And here's Ward. Yes! Johnny Ward. Done it in very steady fashion. 5 of 6, 12 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds.
Sixers field goal percentage in the third quarter really slipping.
That won't count. Foul on Ward, providing the hip check for Iverson. It's a non-shooting foul mixed with their 4th team foul. And now Scott Brooks replacing Charlie Ward gets a hand.
You figure Iverson weighs, Marv, without cheating.
You know, I was about to do that.
I saw you.
I would say,
would you give him 100?
From the naked eye, 170, 165. What are you laughing about? Nice move by Stackhouse. Now let me check my chart. 165. No, I didn't look. You're watching me.
Well, no, but to do your chart, you had done it recently.
What do you think? I memorize everything I put down?
Once you write it, it's in there. I mean, that we learned
for some of us.
School days.
8 on the shot clock. I wish that were true at all times. Once you write something, you retain. Not necessarily so.
Meanwhile, Iverson is a real lean body at 6 feet.
And Ewing got the step. The Knicks 65, the Sixers 63. Just under 4 minutes to go. Third quarter. Scott Brooks playing with 3 fouls. Derek Coleman, bad shot. Second straight poor shot thrown up by Coleman, who had been playing very well. Trying to force the issue. Allen Houston. And rebounded by Weatherspoon.
So Houston's not getting the ball off a flow in the offense either, which will help any player, but particularly someone who's such a good shooter.
Iverson pulling it back and then hitting. What a move by Iverson.
Boy, did that excite Jerry Stackhouse too with his reaction. Arms waving.
The Sixers lead by 1. 21 points for Iverson. 19 for Stackhouse. Ewing. One of those games we're seeing too many long shots from Patrick Ewing. He was frustrated earlier because he was not able to get the ball in the proper position. Here's Johnson. He's been hitting the 3.
The ball isn't moving to get 18, 16-foot jump shots. You don't need 23-footers regularly.
Iverson. Traveling violation. On that possession, too much dribbling by the rookie from Georgetown. And a timeout is taken.
Pride in his first professional visit here to Madison Square Garden. Look at our Toyota matchup. Charlie Ward, who's had a good game with 12 points. He's got his assists and they're shooting the ball very well. But Iverson is taking more shots, as you can see, and he's delivering. Iverson's so comfortable with that basketball. Even though he dribbles that ball high, he's so fast. And you can see what he can do with a pullback jump shot. He sent Scott Brooks away quickly with that fake to the basket.
First round pick, first overall in the draft. The Big East Defensive Player of the Year as a freshman and sophomore. Ewing putting the move on Michael Cage, who just checked in. Good play by Cage. Mark Davis also back. Michael Cage signing with the Sixers as a free agent after a couple of years with the Cavaliers. Here's John Starks, who just made his return. Larry Johnson, yes, and it counts. And no question, this has been the best game offensively as a New York Knick. for Larry Johnson. Foul committed by Davis, and Johnson to the line.
Larry powering his way to the basket again. They don't have the shot blocker, so Johnson's taking advantage of it. Charles Oakley taking that ball out of the basket after the foul shot. Just shoved Scott Williams to the floor, or Derek Coleman rather, excuse me, to the floor, and in front of the officials. So no harm, no foul, I guess. And no reaction from Coleman either.
Knicks by 2 points as we come up on 2 minutes left in the third.
2 minutes. That's because they're pals.
And the foul on Brooks. Basketball count. That's 4 on Brooks. Jeff Van Gundy buying some time with Scott Brooks. Charlie Ward has played him well, but Ward went out after picking up a 4th. So Allen Iverson to the line with the Knicks over the foul limit. Allen Iverson, the first Georgetown player to leave early under John Thompson. Left after his sophomore season. He had averaged 25 a game. So quick, slashing style player. And he's tied the game at 68.
The first player under 6'6" in 20 years to be chosen with the #1 pick in the NBA draft. That's what the world thinks of his skills.
Well, Brooks very fortunate to get it back on the deflection. Excellent defense by the Sixers. Then Starks lost the dribble again. Brooks able to gobble it up and finishes it off. What a sequence for Scott Brooks. Kept ending up with the basketball.
And the Knicks now with the lead.
1:15 left. Third quarter. Here's Iverson. Allen Iverson with 25 points. He is 9 for 16. This after the slow start. He missed his first 4 shots. The game is tied at 70. Johnson got the step. Larry Johnson. 25 for Johnson. Knicks by 2. Just under 1 minute left in the third. Iverson leading Davis. Well, Mark Davis had a clear path driving down the left side of the lane and uncontested.
That's because of Iverson. Larry Johnson drifted over to help plug the lane up, and it opened it up for Davis.
Game tied at 72. Oakley, yes. The hot shooting Charles Oakley with yet another jump shot. He's 4 of 7. And the Knicks lead by 2. This game is picked up here on the third. 20 seconds remaining third quarter. Iverson directing traffic.
They're leaving the middle open for Iverson, and there he goes.
Here's Coleman. Final seconds of the quarter. So after 3, it's the Knicks 74, the Sixers 72.
These aliens are killing us. We need some help.
Looking like he's much more experienced than some rookie. Allen Iverson's got 25, putting on a show here at the Garden. That's got to please the new president of the Philadelphia 76ers, Pat Croce. And Pat, from the day that you high-fived everyone in the room when you won the lottery, people around Philadelphia knew this was going to be a different administration under your very enthusiastic reign.
You're right. A little more excitement, a little more energy, a little more firepower. You know, Philly is psyched about Allen, about Jerry. It's really, we need effort. You see him diving on the court? That's what Philly fans love to see.
A lot of hustle. What I want to know is, as a former fitness guru, I'm sure you're still into fitness, what did you say to Derek Coleman?
Oh, you know what? We talked on a friendship basis, and as a former conditioning coach, I wanted to know how he'd planned to get in shape in the offseason. I went out, visited him in Detroit, and I watched and worked out with him. He worked out hard this summer. He worked out.
And you were telling me it's all to do with respect, and that's what the players, at least in your mind, want to hear.
You know, in business we call it empowerment. In the NBA, it's respect. Asking Derek about our training facility, about the uniform designs from next year, about our charter flights. They want respect. They make money. Money's not the issue. It's respect.
What did he say about the uniforms?
We're going to have pretty cool ones next year.
I don't doubt it. All right, Marv, Pat said no matter what you say about his team down the stretch, he will not burn your house down.
Thank you so much, Al. Pat Croce, who happens to be an international karate champion, a Harley rider. Loose ball foul is on Larry Johnson. That is his third. And as we were discussing earlier, John, Pat made his initial connection to the world of professional sports back in 1980 as the conditioning coach for Bobby Clark and the Philadelphia Flyers in the NHL. And then several years later opened up the first of his sports physical therapist centers, and one of his first clients, Julius Erving. And now he is president of the Philadelphia 76ers.
Well, if Derek Coleman rather heard all of this wonderful words about Pat Croce, Marv, from you just now, I think I know what he'd say. Whoop-de-damn-do.
Setting yourself up for a cheap line.
Right.
Davis on the drive, drew the foul. It is on Johnson. That's 4 on Larry Johnson. Johnson had 10 points, 10 of his 25 in the third. Allen Iverson, who leads Philly with 25, 15 of his 25 in the third quarter. The applause for Larry Johnson. And Charles Oakley, who also departs as John Wallace has come on. So it is Wallace with Ewing and Buck Williams up front. Starks and Brooks in the backcourt.
Knicks have taken away a lot, even though Iverson's been wild in this third quarter and fourth quarter, because the shooting percentage of the Sixers has gone down from the half. They're now at 44%. The Knicks have gone up to 50. So the trend is right for the Knicks.
That foul was called on Brooks, who now has 5. Allen Iverson with the quickness and the spinning ability, so difficult, and now looking to foul Brooks out.
See the clear out too, so the Knicks have got to help him out.
And deflected out by the Sixers. Last touch by Lucius Harris. Minute and a half in, fourth quarter. Marv Albert, John Andres, Al Trautlich from the Garden. Knicks playing only their third game at home. They've won 1 and lost 1. The only loss of the season to the Los Angeles Lakers. And a travel is called. And since that solid performance by the Lakers, they've gone the other way. They've had some difficulties. Losses to Charlotte, Toronto. The Knicks on the road are 4-0 for the overall record of 5-1. Lakers tonight playing in Houston and tied with the Rockets late second quarter at 49 apiece. Here's Davis. And Lucius Harris tied the game at 74.
Harris has been a double-figure scorer for the Sixers in their last 2 games. Both of them wins.
Starks. Pretty lead pass thrown by Ewing. Knicks by 2. Buck Williams helping out, jumping out at Iverson, who finds Cage. Nice pass from Cage. And the foul called on Buck Williams, hacking Clarence Weatherspoon, who's been very quiet offensively.
There's an example of how passing is contagious. You look at Iverson now, looking to set up a teammate, whips that ball inside, and the pass then goes to the cutter. But there's a feeling, once good passing starts, that you want to, if you're out on the court, be part of that and continue it.
Now Weatherspoon, usually a reliable free throw shooter, 75% for his career. Scoreless 30 minutes for Weatherspoon. And the Sixers struggling at the free throw line. 11 of 20 overall at the line. Knicks have a 1-point lead. Brooks with the step, setting up Ewing. On the back tap, Brooks able to get to it. Wallace. Michael Cage, who will not shoot from the outside. He did think about it for a moment. Here's Davis, and he was fouled. Davis in a collision with Wallace. Oh, apparently Ewing called for that foul. And Davis to the line.
Mark Davis, a big surprise, Mark. I've been looking at his game now since the season began. He's becoming a factor now in his second year. People hardly noticed him last year. 14 last game, 22 points, 7 rebounds against Boston on Friday night. And he's becoming a very important player. He had a game against Detroit last week, which included 7 assists with 12 rebounds. Keep your eye on him.
He was with Minnesota last year, appeared in 57 games, but used sparingly, averaged 3 points a game. Beautiful pass from Starks. Ewing strip. And it will be Nick Ball with 10 on the shot clock. Here's Stackhouse back, replacing Harris. Harris leads with a field goal for 2. The Knicks by 1 with 8.5 remaining in the fourth quarter. Here's Scott Williams making his return from Michael Cage. Michael Cage continuing his consecutive game streak, now at 581, which is second among active players to AC Green. Starks lost the dribble. Iverson putting behind the back and then had the pass broken up by Brooks.
Brooks did a terrific job. Didn't give Iverson running room or space.
Jeff Van Gundy staying with Scott Brooks as long as he can. He's playing with the 5. Iverson again. For Iverson, his 4th three-pointer. He has 28 points in all, and the Sixers lead by 2. Starks for 3. John Starks trying to get into the offense after a couple of poor shooting games against Vancouver and the Los Angeles Clippers. Starks now has 9 points, and he's given the Knicks a 1-point lead. Nice setup, Stackhouse for Williams. Scott Williams has 14 points, 7 of 9 from the field, and the Sixers up by 1.
When you allow Stackhouse to get inside so easily, why, then he's just going to dish off to somebody because he's getting close to the basket.
Allen Houston cannot find the range. Patrick Ewing. Knicks by 1.
That's one of the only bad misses you'll see Allen Houston make this season.
Houston is now 1 for 7 on a court that he has enjoyed, and a foul on Brooks, so he is fouled out. But here's it from the crowd. They love his hustle. Scott Brooks with just 2 points.
Well, the crowd likes him, but he doesn't look happy. He's fouled out, given his best, and he knows he's dealing with a major talent that is emerging in the NBA in the form of Allen Iverson.
But the Sixers hurting themselves at the foul line. They are 12 for 24. Game tied at 81. Iverson, the high man, with 29. Ewing off a beautiful lead pass.
Charlie Ward saw that Scott Williams had his back to Charlie Ward, so he wouldn't know about that pass intended for Ewing.
And the foul off the runner by Stackhouse. Timeout is called. 6:49 remaining in the fourth.
We have a wonderful 75 La Couille Cabernet, or an exquisite 58 Le Boussemillon, or a 62 Je Vous Pinot if you're in the mood for...
No. Enough of that old stuff. Lady and I would prefer something fresh. How about something in a lager? What do you got in a Budweiser from, say...
Sixer assistant coach Maurice Cheeks had a terrific career with the Sixers, spent a couple of seasons as a member of the New York Knicks, and he is featured in our Coke Classic play. His best game ever as a member of the Knicks. It was Game 5 of the playoffs, May the 6th, 1990. Played all 48 minutes against the Boston Celtics. Nice move by Maurice Cheeks against Larry Bird, and the Celtics As Bird missing on the reverse stuff. And here's Cheeks from the outside. 21 points, hit 8 for 10 in his 48 minutes. Knicks won that game 121-114 and went on to win the series 3-2. Mo Cheeks, one of the most popular players in 76ers history. And they honored Maurice by retiring his jersey number 10, last February.
14 years in the NBA and number 2 all-time in the steals department.
Houston just cannot buy one. Allen Houston now 1 of 8 from the field, and Scott Williams off that collision is hurt.
That's a horrendous sight for the Sixers, not to mention how Scott Williams feels right now, a man who's been plagued with injuries. See Williams standing for that basketball, committing himself to the air, losing his balance as he collides with Allen Houston, and it looked, I guess, like a head blow, and that usually results in blood, but we don't see it. Usually around the eyes there, the skin is so thin. With a collision like that, often it opens up, but he's shaken up in the head as opposed to knees or ankles. Oh. Another look at it again. Houston's hand, the palm of his hand, flobbering him, and Houston was coming into him too. The momentum of Houston's body, I'm sure, made it more emphatic and dramatic, as Clyde might say.
Yes, very well done. Scott Williams has been a injury hit player over the years. Played only 13 games last season. Needed knee surgery this after he had knee surgery the previous off season. When healthy, though, he's been a strong rebounder, especially off the offensive glass, and he's had a very fine game here tonight, and apparently will be able to shake this off.
Well, the Knicks presenting a much better second half than they did the first after completing their trip out west, that 3-game excursion. And following tonight's homecoming, the Knicks will be here on Thursday night against the Toronto team. MCS Cannon game night at 7 o'clock. Then Saturday, Minnesota comes to town. 12:30 p.m. MCS Cannon game night. And then next Tuesday, the Knicks will be at Orlando. MCS Cannon game night at 7:30. Hopefully, Stephon Marbury will be healthy this Saturday, although reports we heard today are such that his ankle is healing slowly.
And you know that the product of Abraham Lincoln High School in Brooklyn, you knew I'd get that one in, John.
Absolutely.
Wants to play here against his hometown club and his favorite team, the New York Knicks.
Well, I would imagine he'll come in looking like a mummy if he has to. With tape all over him to play.
So Scott Williams has tied the game at 83. As you saw, it has been a rocky time at the line for the 76ers. Now 14 of 27 at the foul line.
This will be Minnesota's only trip here to New York, so it adds more emphasis to his desire to be here and play before the home crowd.
And Ewing fouled by Williams. That's his 4th foul. Well, apparently Mark Davis called for the foul. Scott Williams raising his hand, but it's number 4 on Davis. And Ewing at the line. He's 2 of 4 at the foul line. Patrick Ewing, 18 points. High man for the Knicks, Larry Johnson with 25. Ewing way off at the line, had been shooting very well at the free throw line on this recent 3-game trip to the West. But tonight, 2 of 6. The block by Ewing, stopping Stackhouse. Charlie Ward, who just checked back in, finding John Starks. That was a 3-point attempt. And back comes Iverson, putting the move on Houston. Stackhouse. A 3 for Stackhouse. That's his 4th. And the Sixers 10 of 18 from downtown. They now lead by 3.
They had made 9 of those last game, and you know Jeff Van Gundy's not happy about the open threes that the Sixers are getting.
And it will be Nick Ball. He was out of bounds. Charles Oakley and Larry Johnson checking back in.
A lot of hustle here. You can see that. Everybody hitting the floor to save that basketball. Knicks basketball, however, with Charles Oakley now inbounding.
Down to 5.5 remaining in this 4th quarter. And that will count as a goaltender. A strong move by Ewing. So the Knicks are within 1.
See, this is the advantage the Knicks have with Ewing, as they've had all game. Scott Williams, whoever is on the floor, is just not big enough to handle him. So Patrick's trying to post up down low as much as he can.
Coleman got the stop. He beat Oakley and then whipped by Ewing.
Awesome move for a guy his size, and then finish with the right-handed slam.
Ewing on the follow. Sixers by 1.
How about that for a response?
22 for Ewing, along with 12 rebounds. Just under 5 minutes left, 4th quarter. Stackhouse couldn't find the shot.
He wants the lead pass down low with Houston.
Stackhouse called for the travel. Won't count. Traveling violation. Both teams with 14 turnovers. Patrick Ewing has scored the Knicks' last 8 points. The Knicks are down by 1. Houston, yes. And the Knicks are hoping that will get him going. He was 1 for his previous 8. And the Knicks lead by 1.
Big basket. It's tough to make a shot like that when you're cold.
But he is a player who must continue shooting. And he is a streak shooter. Shot clock at 6. Iverson for 3, and he is hammered by Ward.
Good foul. Good foul by Charlie. You've got to make the shooter hesitate. You've got to change his rhythm. Looks like Iverson's wrist was affected when he hit the floor. Marv, I loved at halftime when Al Trautwig and Walt Frazier were doing their highlights of the first half. And Al asked Clyde if he could deal with Iverson if he was playing today. Clyde said, I don't think so. He said, but he'd have a lot of trouble with me at the other end. He said, I'd post and toast him.
Iverson is now 4 of 9 at the line. Well, I try to picture Allen Iverson going up against that Knick team, and Clyde would have had a lot of help. That was help defense. And there is the posting and toasting Clyde man.
Clyde, a very gracious, sweet guy, but never lacks confidence when talking about Clyde.
Iverson has hit 5 of 8 from downtown. Stackhouse 4 for 4 from three-point range. They have been outstanding. They've killed the Knick backcourt. 29 for Iverson, 23 for Stackhouse, 5 assists apiece. Iverson got off to the slow start, 0 for his first 4. So they've outscored the Knicks starting backcourt 52-19 because Allen Houston has been off 2 of 9 from the field. Although Charlie Ward has played well, 5 of 6, 12 points. You can't ask for much more from Charlie.
Well, maybe if he took 12 shots, he'd have 10 field goals at that percentage.
But you don't, obviously, you don't want that.
I'm kidding when I say that. But thanks to the draft, this is how the Sixers are rebuilding their franchise. These are 2 top collegiate players, Stackhouse and Iverson.
Oh, there's Ward on the drive, coming up short. Sixers lead by 1. Here's the speed again of Iverson. Met on a switch. Now Ward back on him. They double up on Iverson.
Charlie doing a terrific job running around the pick set for Iverson.
That was deflected out by the Knicks. What is amazing at this stage of the game here, Iverson has played 40 minutes. He still has that pass off the mark. It's a turnover, and Houston was playing Stackhouse very effectively. But Iverson looks to be as fresh as he was in the first quarter. Knicks with the ball. They're down by 1. 3:25 left in the fourth. Oakley. And Stackhouse with the rebound.
Coleman did a good job of contesting that shot of Charles. Had to distract him. The Sixers have been on since Saturday, so they've had a little more rest than the Knicks have.
Sixers with the win over Phoenix at home on Saturday. Stackhouse for 3. He is now 5 of 5 from downtown. He has 26 points, and the Sixers lead by 4. Ewing off the double team. Larry Johnson, Charles Oakley, and Oakley foul.
See, one of the problems with help defense is if you have a team with talent like the Sixers with Stackhouse, you can't leave your guy. If you're guarding Stackhouse, somebody else cuts. You got to be careful. You have to be aware to help when you can, but you can't give a guy room to shoot that basketball. You got to stay home on him, as you'll often hear coaches say. You can't leave good shooters open. Oakley going in underneath for that finish, hoping to make that shot, but at least he'll get an opportunity at the line.
Oakley at the line for the first time tonight. And Charles, usually a solid free throw shooter.
Charles surprisingly has not been to the line much for such a physical player. Coming in tonight, he had only had 8 foul shot attempts in the first 4 games he's played in.
And the reason for that, he has been hitting the jump shot, which can work positively and negatively because he's been outside more frequently, not going for the inside moves. Sixers by 3, and there's a foul on Oakley. That's his 4th.
Boy, that's a tough call. That's a tough call. I mean, Oakley his hand seemed to be right on the basketball, but Coleman, with his hard work, gets the call. Here's another look at it now. Oakley trying not to let him get around him. What a dribbling exhibition.
Coleman 3 of 4 at the line. He has 14 points in all. Well, the Sixers are now 16 of 32 at the free throw line. Timeouts remaining. Knicks have 3. Sixers 3 and a 20. Coming in, Philly only 69% at the line. They are in the bottom rung. 3-point Sixer lead. We're down to 2:15 in the fourth. They double up on Johnson. Shot clock at 4. Johnson. Rebound Ewing. And lost it. Regained by Johnson.
Sixers are doing a terrific job of helping and converging on whoever gets the basketball below the foul line for the Knicks. They're moving very well.
John, we're seeing a lot of deflections. Of course, coaches love it. A lot of deflections on the part of the Sixers. There is their head coach, Johnny Davis. Just under 2 minutes remaining in the fourth. Oakley again looking for that jump shot. Johnson takes it and hits another 3 for Larry Johnson. And he's tied the game at 93. 28 points for Johnson. It is his second from downtown. 1:40 remaining in the fourth quarter. Good finish. Iverson blocked and fouled by Ward. Another 3-point opportunity for Allen Iverson.
Oh, Charlie, who never shows emotion, running to the other end of the court. He felt that was clean.
And the Knicks are now in big trouble at the point guard position. Scott Brooks is fouled out. Charlie Ward just picked up number 6. So Iverson to the free throw line. Jeff Van Gundy will have to go with John Starks at the point guard spot.
Number 3, John Starks replaces Charlie Ward.
So Charlie Ward departs, 12 points, 6 assists. Now Iverson, 6 for 11 at the line.
Charlie Ward right on that basketball, but the officials' judgment said that there was physical contact also.
32 points for Iverson. That equals his career high. This only his 6th NBA game. One more coming, fouled in the act on a 3-point attempt. Sixers lead by 1 with 1:34 left in the 4th. And now the Knicks take a timeout. So it's the 76ers with a 2-point lead. We'll be right back.
Knicks unhappy about Iverson's handling of the basketball. Feel he's getting away with carrying the ball, palming it. There's an example. There's another one.
There's
another one right there, big time. Fortunately for the Knicks, though, it didn't cost them a basket. It looked just like an infraction. But when a player can do that, and he can really sail by the defender, and that's something, you know, coaching staffs are going to be talking to the league about. Look at our Marriott Marquis Skycam in action now. Knicks moving the ball at the other end of the court a moment ago, and Larry Johnson to John Starks just didn't work as John's concentration wasn't on that ball. The New York Marriott Marquis, Broadway's biggest hit.
38 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. The Knicks trailing by 3 points.
They don't have to get a 3-point shot. They're going low to Ewing.
And Ewing not able to hit. Kept alive by Oakley. Now the 3 from Johnson. Rebound Oakley again. Starks with the save. 20 seconds remaining. Allen Houston trying to set up for a 3. And now they have Johnson for 3 to tie. On the back tap handled by Weatherspoon. Final seconds as the foul is given. Well, the Knicks had the opportunities to tie, but could not. Pat Croce enjoying the moment. The Philadelphia 76ers here at the Garden have lost 5 in a row. 14 of the last 15. Overall, the Knicks have won 8 of the last 9 against the Sixers. The last time Philadelphia won here at Madison Square Garden, January 23rd, 1994, by the score of 99-92. And Allen Iverson shooting a couple. Iverson with 35 points. He is 10 for 16 at the line. What a performance by the rookie out of Georgetown, who's had some big moments here with the Hoyas. Timeout, final timeout called by the Knicks. Down by 4 with 5 4/10 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. And the Knicks with the timeout, so we'll be back in a moment. 3. And the Sixers were not looking to foul, so it would have been, had Houston hit that shot, it would have meant the Knicks falling 1 point short, but a nice-looking final play.
Sixers enjoyed their 43 foul shot attempts, too, to the Knicks 19 in this.
And the 76ers have defeated the Knicks here at the Garden, 101-99.